Today's stories include, we got our first look at Resident Evil Requiem gameplay, Capcom shows off more Pragmata, and Sonic crosses over with Magic the Gathering. We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Hello gamers, welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Friday, June 27th, 2025. I am Andy, and I'm joined by Bless, and he's just so pumped about Sonic Revolution and this Magic the Gathering thing.
So pumped. I was about to say that, like, oh man, this is the first time where you're in the hosting seat, and I'm not. And then I remembered the today. Oh wow, what was that?
Good morning, Bless. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Started Death Stranding 2 last night.
I saw that. How you liking it?
Apparently, there's some issues with a recent patch that made on the PS5 Pro performance mode look hella blurry, and
oh really?
Yeah, so I'm not sure what that's all about. Getting a lot of conflicting sources, getting a lot of people giving me info, but it seems like maybe a new patch has to go through on PS5
Interesting.
Pro.
And on the Pro specifically.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
I set that sucker to, I'm on quality. I'm like, oh, why is 30 frames per second? It is what it is. Let me switch to performance, and it's just like, ooh, blurry.
I like existing in the in-between space of, like, I'm definitely nowhere as about fidelity as you and Tim, but I'm definitely like higher than a Greg Miller. It's like, right. Greg will look at like a fucking Game Boy Color and think it's the best.
What's wrong with that?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I'm happy that I exist in this space where I've seen the PS5 Pro like once as far as like what those games look like, and so I'm so good with what my PS5 base is doing that, like, I would have guessed that you would have been rocking that thing 4K 60 all crispy.
Well, the PS5 Pro looks good, right? Like, the quality still looks awesome, and the main reason I bought the sucker was for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Because that shit, whenever you would drop it to performance mode for 60, like, that's one of the few games that I voluntarily played at 30 frames because of how awful the frame rate mode looked. And so this doesn't look anywhere near that bad. This is like it's not even close to how bad it looked at Final Fantasy VII Rebirth looked on PS5. But you see the text and it's like, oof.
Yeah, it's like, why is that like that?
Maybe keep the UI 4K and make the rest of the game like lower res if you need to, because things just look a little blurry. So we'll wait for that patch, and I'm sure things will
Are you gonna see this game through?
Man, it's a real tough time right now.
Oh really? You don't like walking?
It's Arrakis though. Like, it's not Death Stranding 2's fault. Like,
that makes sense.
In any other universe where I'm not addicted to Dune Awakening, I'm playing this shit on Tuesday when it drops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the main reason why I never hopped on the review was Night Rain was out and Liza P was happening. And I knew other people were going to be playing it. So I was like, all right, I'll wait until this Tuesday pre-release. And god dang, Arrakis,
just calling to you that much.
The Shai Halud, man.
Dude, that's kind of me with Rematch right now. And I'm happy that there's not like big releases happening. Like, if DK Bonanza was out tomorrow or something, I would definitely be having problems. But like, every day I go home and I'm like, all right, let me play more of the Altars. Let me pick up like this other game that I wanted to start. You know what I mean? And then like, I look at my Steam and then I look at my Discord, and my friend Asen hits me up and he's like, I'm trying to get on some Rematch. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm trying to get on some Rematch. And then 3 hours pass and I'm like, I just had the time of my life.
Yeah. There's too many. Look, we always make the joke that there's too many games or whatever.
Yeah.
But like now more than ever, I can't believe that I'm not immediately attached to a Kojima game right now.
I feel that.
Like, it's crazy to me.
You'll get there.
I still
you gotta beat it by the end of the year.
I still enjoyed my time with it. And I know that I will play it. I don't know if I'll do I don't know if it'll be a stream game.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I might just kind of relax with this one. Let the soothing sort of, let the walking and all that stuff just sort of massage the eyeballs.
Yeah.
And the game's beautiful, and really wish I had an OLED TV. Because I would love to just sit in the beanbag chair and just play this shit. You know what I mean?
It's such a relaxing game to play.
It's so nice looking. I got caught so many times by a bunch of mules. Man,
in DS2?
Yeah.
Oh, man, you got to bust out the blicky.
Well, I mean, I got caught because I was just shooting all over the place,
Oh.
And then, man, oh my gosh, dude. I'm not going to complain about remapping controls, bless.
Oh.
But, like, a lot of video games, that big old touchpad on the PlayStation controller, that means like a map button.
Oh yeah.
And I'm looking at this like I'm overseeing, one of the first kind of like just little enemy encampments. No spoilers, there's enemy encampments in the game. And I'm just kind of overlooking. I'm like, all right, I'm trying to set my path and I want to like mark them or whatever on the map. Hit the touchpad button. Hey, over here! You're like, fuck! I forgot Sam calls out like that.
Like in talking to nobody.
Also, oh gosh, no, that it's not really spoilery, but what's your, in the first 5 minutes of the game, Fragile asking me to go on this mission.
Yeah.
And I declined it every time.
Yeah.
That shit freaked me out.
It's so cool.
That shit was crazy. Pretty cool game.
Kojima's
still doing his thing.
Oh yeah.
Good for him.
I need you to finish this game because you're gonna see some shit that's gonna blow your mind.
Okay. Yeah, I saw a lot of people saying, Andy, get to the prologue, please, at least.
Oh
like,
yeah.
You know. And I love the visuals, obviously. There's a lot of like weird shit that Kojima does. But hey, this is Kind of Funny Games Daily, everybody. Forgot we were doing the show. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon, YouTube, and now Spotify and Apple Podcasts to get all of our shows ad-free and watch us record them live and get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be a part of the show, submit your thoughts and opinions as YouTube super chats as we go. And we already got a super chat from Charlie Nugget. Says, "Good morning, KF. Bless. Did you see the Sonic news?"
Man, let me tell you, I've never gotten so many people hit me up, and not just like Kind of Funny audience, not just on Twitter, like personal friends of mine.
I haven't talked to the second cousin in years.
Yeah, family are checking up on me that are like, hey, I saw that Sonic the Hedgehog is coming to Magic the Gathering. And I'm like, I know. You think my algorithm isn't trained for this to be the first thing I see when I wake up in the morning? Yes, I know that Sonic is coming to Magic the Gathering. And yes, I'm going to play that shit.
I'm the guy who, after getting, angry at the Sonic Revolution reveal, I'm watching the homeboy on screen in his shadow shirt. I went, man, that's a sick ass shirt.
Exactly. It's funny because like I was making this joke. I was talking to, I think I was on stream, but I think I was having a back and forth with Janet, who was in the chat of the stream, and I was saying that like I feel like there's two sides. There's two sides of me, right? One side of me is like, man, I might have made a mistake when I first joined Kind of Funny. One of the first things that I feel like I presented myself as was a Sonic the Hedgehog sicko, and I might have oversold that aspect of myself. But then I do think to that moment of like watching the dude with the Shadow the Hedgehog shirt and being like, oh fuck, that's a sick ass shirt. And like it is in me.
There was that other reveal, like, oh, so cool.
It's like, but I wish you
can't fight the allegations. You're not beating them.
I wish I measured it more though. You know what I mean? Because people like Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh my god, anytime there's a Sonic, a fucking Lego, or like a fucking like any Sonic thing, my notifications go crazy. And I'm like, I wish there are other things that I had like filtered in alongside the Sonic aspects of me. Because now this
me with Gundam. That's me with Gundam.
Yeah.
I
do think when I see a mech, I do think Andy.
I watched Gundam Wing as a kid, and I think a lot of it was me making that mech shirt for Kind of Funny Live 3, and then Greg Miller starts like, oh, he's always doing the mechs, always doing the Gundams, the Gundam man, always like making the Gundams over there.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I always get questions about, have you watched the new Gundam thing? I was like, dude, I watched Gundam Wing as a kid, and I've tried watching Iron Blooded Orphans every now and then, but
oh, dude,
you all know
from Mercury.
Dude. I mean, look, there are a lot of Gundam shows I want to watch, but I also don't even watch the shows that I need to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like. Oh man,
what's something
that's starting another conversation because I got a question the other night that was like, "Are you gonna hop into the Phasmophobia update, Andy? Because they're releasing something new tomorrow." And I was like, I don't even get to play the games that I really, really, really want to play right now. You know, like there's not enough time for that, and it's not like Phasmophobia is even a thing that I love. Like I'll play it with friends if they invite me or whatever, but there's. We're just so inundated with so much stuff,
I feel that. And this is a follow-up question, and this might be a different conversation, but like, what's something that people don't know you for that you wish they knew you for more? Like, what's something that you actually do really love or nobody would associate with you? Because I feel like I have a bunch of those where I'm like, there are plenty of things that I like that people just don't think about me for.
It's got to be probably newer audiences who may have watched me. Or maybe started watching Kind of Funny a year or two ago, or Kind of Funny fans that maybe only know me through like Ray Narvaez's collabs or whatever. And usually it's like mentioning sports or mentioning the music that I'm into or something like that. There'll be a lot, like, it's still wild to me that we are getting discovered by new people every now and then.
Yeah.
Whenever I get a holy shit, you like that? Like, whoa. And I'm like, that's crazy because I feel like I talk about that a lot, but you're probably somebody who hopped on a year ago and maybe doesn't see me a whole lot on content or content or something like that.
I feel that.
What's your thing?
I guess more just action games in general. Like, doesn't even have to be Souls-like. I guess like the broad genre of like platinum. I guess ranging all throughout action games. I like
DMCs
games
back in the day. You know?
Yeah, like DMC. I like games where it's like I press a button and I do an attack. But I also like other fucking shit. Like that's the thing is I talk about this all the time. If it's a banger in any genre, I'll probably like it. Like I just have like a pretty wide palette as far as like what I'm willing to interact with, except for like MOBAs and RTSs. But even like 13 Sentinels is kind of an RTS. But like I get it's reached the point of, I guess, not annoyance, because with the Sonic thing, it's not annoyance. It's actually kind of I find it endearing how much people associate me with Sonic, even though I'm like, I am a Sonic fan. I don't know if I'm as much of a Sonic fan as people
you think I am. Yeah,
as you think I am, but I do love Sonic, so don't get me wrong. But the thing that annoys me is the Genshin Impact shit, where I'm like, I played Genshin Impact for like,
you had a hyper fixation moment.
Yeah, I had a hyper, and it wasn't even like a hyper fixation. It was more of a fascination of, all right, what do people see in this game? And I played 40 hours, and I was like, all right, cool, I'm putting this down forever. And now every single time there's like
an update,
not even just an update, a game that looks like Genshin, like that brand of game. Everybody's like, oh, bless lock in. I'm like, yo, I haven't played this shit since 2021. Please, leave me alone.
I just saw somebody in chat, Reedwin. I didn't get the full name, but said, yeah, I never heard Andy the Mecha guy.
Like, really?
I don't even know if that's a serious comment or not, but that's crazy.
Yeah,
like,
I would have. Yeah,
it's also encouraging because there are people.
I feel like
hopping
your
in
Souls
recently.
love took over the mech stuff more.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Hey, let's do some housekeeping. Yeah, it was a good podcast so far. Housekeeping, tomorrow is Greg's championship parade. Show up at the Ferry building at 10 a.m. and walk with the crew to Square Pie Guys while we celebrate Greg's victory. We're an 11-person business, all about live talk shows. Today, after KFGD, you'll get the Gamescast, which is every Kojima game ranked.
Yeah, it's going to be a shit list featuring Tim Geddes and Greg Miller, who is in the background right now, just hanging out with a sign that he made himself. I saw him making this in the kitchen.
Been making a lot of signs, yeah.
With the markers.
Making a lot of signs back there. He's excited for the parade, everybody. And after the Gamescast, it's back by popular demand. Mike and Roger are embarking on the biggest stream Kind of Funny has ever done. They'll attempt to play the entirety of Death Stranding 2 while Mike goes step for step with Sam Porter Bridges on a treadmill, with a couple of surprises that might change everything. With your support, they're determined to make it past KFGD on Monday. And of course, order a lot of food. Exclusively on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. Will not be on YouTube. Marathon streams are always kind of weird with YouTube streams because they cut off. There's a time limit on YouTube VODs. So
a different sign this time.
Yeah.
Interesting. How many?
Got a lot of signs out there.
Greg, are you making a Gamescast stock, or are you just making signs back there? He said, oh shit. He definitely didn't remember that he's got to do that for me.
So everybody lock in for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Mike and Roger have been working diligently along with Nick and Kevin and getting all the setup going, making all the shots cool. It's going to be everything you loved about the Death Stranding 1 stream, but just even more elevated. It's the enhanced remaster. And I'm really, really pumped up about it. We got Roger coming on. Roger, get in here. Are you ready? Are you pumped? Are you excited?
Man. I'm so excited. Andy, I heard a little birdie tell me that you were going to participate in the stream a little bit, maybe come through, maybe hang out with us, maybe have a cheeseburger with us. Is that going to be happening this weekend?
What birdie? Who?
Cheeseburger.
I mean, Mike told me that you said that you were going to come through.
Man, it's a parade.
You going there?
The stream, you know. You got the Death Stranding 2 stream. There's a lot of other stuff happening, you know. So,
okay.
Mark me down as a strong maybe.
Okay. Well, we'll see everybody in a few hours. And Andy.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Is there a gas leak? Why is everybody talking slower? I feel like we're all taking our time here.
Just not pumped up about this. Kind of worried about it. If you're a Kind of Funny member, today's Gregway is, what's Greg's current gaming era? Just shit games.
No, current gaming era. That's just his gaming.
That's
just what he does.
Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs and Omega Buster and Delaney Twining. Today we're brought to you by Cash App and Mood, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report.
Jay Markman in chat says not finishing game. Y'all gotta leave Greg alone.
He's got a kid. It's time for some news. We have 8 stories today.
Baker's dozen.
I will say it is a fucking jam-packed news day, and so it's great that we're getting here about 10:24.
10:24. It's good. Good start.
We're making good pace.
Great start, everybody. Story number 1. First Resident Evil Requiem gameplay revealed, showing first and third person views. This comes from Andy Robinson at VGC. Capcom has premiered the first Resident Evil Requiem gameplay, showcasing the game's first and third person views. The game will mark a quote, bold shift for the franchise, according to Capcom, and stars Grace Ashcroft, the daughter of Resident Evil Outbreak's Alyssa, an FBI analyst investigating a series of mysterious deaths in Raccoon City 30 years after it was bombed in the events of Resident Evil 3. According to director Koshi Nakanishi from Resident Evil 7, unlike past Resident Evil protagonists, Grace has little combat experience, which means players will watch her learn and grow as the game progresses.
Have you gotten to check this out yet?
I didn't get to see anything from Capcom yesterday. As you know, we're doing Superman 3 in review, one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life, and had a bunch of people in chat popping off going like, are y'all reacting to Capcom? Capcom's about to start Capcom. So no, I did not get to watch that. We were talking about Superman 3. What were your takeaways, Bless? What do you think about any of this? Because as you know, I'm not necessarily the Resident Evil dude.
I mean, it's Capcom Spotlight, which is their showcase that they've done, I think yearly for quite a while now, and it's
always been a disappointment.
It's always been a stinker.
Yeah,
it's always been. But I think here's the thing: I came out of this Capcom Spotlight being like, you know what? This is on the higher end of Capcom spotlights. Still a dud though. Like, still pretty boring and still kind of whatever. They're replaying trailers that they've shown at other showcases, but they'll do the thing of replaying a trailer and then showing like a little bit more. They did that for Pragmata as well, which we'll talk about in a second.
You got a tiny extra footage in Pragmata. Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But like they did the same thing with Resident Evil Requiem, where they had some of the folks sit down and just talk more about the game. Right, a lot of words coming from the folks behind it, which is nice. Which I'll take some words.
Okay.
Tell me more about the experience. They talked about the main character that you're playing here. Was it Grace Ashcroft? Grace Ashcroft. They talked about her being a bit more like, I think, starting from ground zero a little bit and having to build up that confidence, build up that skill. And so I feel like that's probably going to bring it more into that survival horror, like lean more into the survival vibe of like, oh man, you are kind of weak here, so you're going to have to actually upgrade and get better, and you're going to see that in the character development throughout the story. But I think for me, I was just excited actually seeing the game in motion. They showed off the first person stuff and the third person stuff, kind of going back and forth between that, which is new for Resident Evil, right? Usually we get one or the other, so it's nice to see them be like, you know what? We made both of these. Let's just put both of these in one game.
Right.
Gameplay looks like Resident Evil. That's kind of my takeaway from it. Is I'm like, all right, I'm excited for this game. Resident Evil is a franchise that, like, whenever you put out a new one, at this point, I will show up to it and play it and either really like it, or if it's one of the bangers, I'll fucking love it. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those old reliables for me. But like, it's not like I watch this trailer and go fucking crazy or anything like that.
We know it's going to look great. We know it's going to perform well, likely sales-wise. I think they're in a really good spot, Capcom, just with, they've been on a good hot streak with the RE series. I think the more notable takeaways from story number 2 here in a bit. But real quick, I wanted to ask you, and I wanted to ask the chat through Super Chats. Let us know your feedback. What are you going to be maining, first or third person?
Ooh, dude, that's a really good question.
First, too scary. But don't get in my face like that.
I've liked first person in the last couple of Resident Evils, but I think I'm going to go third person. It really is going to come down to where does shooting feel better,
right,
for me, which I won't know until I get my hands on the controller. But I think I'm going to go third person because I feel like they're trying to return back to like a little bit more of the classic Resident Evil, or like maybe middle era. I don't know how we're dividing the eras, but like more of the Resident Evil 4 style thing.
In the earlier reveals, it did kind of seem like they were saying, "Hey, first is recommended, but you can also play third." And that doesn't give me a whole lot of like. I don't know. I just wish they would say it's amazing in either.
It's like it's the performance mode, fidelity mode thing where I'm like, brother, just choose for me. Just tell me what the right way to play.
You can play solo if you want, but it's a multiplayer game. It's that sort of vibe. Like, no, just tell me like first or third is they're both going to be equally amazing experiences.
So you don't know what you're meaning?
I'm not going to play this fucking game.
You're not playing Resident Evil Requiem?
No.
The 9th one? Did you play 8?
Yeah, because you motherfuckers made me.
Yeah, we're going to make you play this one too.
But I had to play that shit on stream. I don't know. I just don't give a shit about the franchise. I've never cared about Resident Evil. I respect the shit out of it as a franchise, of how just one of those rare franchises that existed way back in the day and still carries a lot of esteem, even though there was a lot of potholes in the road.
Yeah,
it's one of those that not all franchises from back in the day survive those potholes. A lot of them, fucking you get a flat tire and they're just that thing is done. And you try to bring it back, you try to reinvent it in a way, and it doesn't vibe anymore. Resident Evil is such an awesome thing that it's still continuing, it's still going strong as hell. And I wanted to go to the next story number 2, which is kind of a nice little tie-in to what we just spoke about, because this also comes from Andy Robinson at VGC, and it's Capcom reveals that Resident Evil Requiem started as an online game. Quote, but we realized fans didn't want it.
Let's go. Let's go.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for the smoke. Capcom has revealed that it tested open world and online concepts from Resident Evil Requiem before settling an online traditional single-player game. Speaking in an extended developer diary video available to members of Capcom's website, Requiem director Koshi Nakanishi shared a brief look at the early online version of Resident Evil 9 and said it was ultimately abandoned because he realized it wasn't what fans wanted. Sometimes you just gotta, read the tea leaves.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta read a Reddit and go, yeah, shit. Let's not make those online things.
Just like, man, I'm still blown away by that one Gamescast we did recently with that. I think you weren't here for. I think you were working on something, but it's been said a million times, but Greg reading an article and mentioning every Sony live service game, in addition to the ones that were canceled, and like just this whole list of them, and I was just so blown away. Like, God damn, dude, there's nobody talk to each other at these places, right? And it's just so, I don't know, it's a breath of fresh air to see that a developer understands that people don't want this. And don't chase the trend and don't try to just get that dollar. Continuing the story, but in the end, let me start right here. Let me rewind back up. Says, quote, you may have heard some rumors, things like an online Resident Evil or an open world Resident Evil, but we spent some time experimenting with, he said. But in the end, although we had some interesting concepts, we realized that it wasn't what fans wanted to see or play. So we went back to the drawing board and created what led to Resident Evil Requiem.
See, the multiplayer part of this is interesting, but I think the open world part is even more interesting. Of like, we experimented with that as well, because I remember having a conversation with Tim as far as what that could look like, especially coming off of Resident Evil Village. That Village was designed kind of like a theme park, because you would go to like one area and it's the castle with Lady Demetrice and the hot vampire ladies. And then you would go somewhere else and it's like, oh, now here's this fucked up house with a fucking fetus. And then you'd go somewhere else and it's baby. Here's like the water area with this fucked up guy, right? And it's like, I kind of liked the Resident Evil Village being this collection of different types of horror, and like you have these like distinct villains kind of carrying that. It almost reminds me a bit of how like Metal Gear Solid 3 would be a little bit, not necessarily with the areas, but with like the villain kind of things.
Super
like,
thematic,
yeah, like building a theme as you're going, and then also having a cast of characters that can hold up. Even though I think at the end of the day, Lady Demetrice was the most
gone too soon,
standout, gone way too soon, right? But I would have been so down with the idea of, all right, what if we did a Resident Evil Village kind of thing where we did the different areas with different like bosses or different characters that like reside there, and had it be you can choose the order. You're just collecting these keys so you can unlock the final thing. But you can choose to go after the Lady Demetrius castle first, or you can go to the werewolf area first, or you can go to the baby first, right? Like, I like when games do that. Like, I think that automatically creates like this player freedom, especially if you then tie that to abilities or items or upgrades, where it is the Mega Man thing of, all right, I got the fire attack, which I know is going to do well against the leaf guy or whatever. I think that stuff is so inspired, but I also know that stuff is harder to make and manage, and like automatically the further you go into that, the more you're changing the game into something different potentially. So I like that they're looking at Resident Evil as a type of franchise that like you can be malleable with and like think about in different ways and maybe experiment different things.
Good word, malleable.
All right, I know I felt good about pulling that
really
one out.
good, yeah.
But I also like that even though they experimented with that stuff, at the end of the day they looked at it and went, we know what our fans want. We're going to give you something a bit more traditional again.
I think the concept of introducing an open world to this kind of, like, I understand where you're coming from. I think when I think of that, it's more of a open roam, if anything, like, you know, free roam, a freedom of player choice, making whatever decisions you want and going whatever direction you want. But I can't not think of something like Assassin's Creed or Ghost of Tsushima or something like that when I think of open world. I think if anything, the more interesting stuff that would come from an open world Resident Evil game would be optional missable things. Not to say that there aren't missable things in Resident Evil, but I just that seems like such a hard thing to tackle, especially because I think of most open world design is enemy encampment, go clear it out and take control or whatever of it. I'm not saying that that's what you would do in a Resident Evil game, but like the drawbacks there seem like they would be, I think, too aggressive, that like if you were to just completely move the franchise in that direction,
it almost turns into a different thing. Because when I'm thinking of it, I am thinking of more like an open zone kind of thing. But if we're talking true open world, then you have to start to think about what Resident Evil is and like how that works. And a lot of Resident Evil is finding key items and solving puzzles, which like I think the puzzle aspect could work pretty cool, like in a pretty cool way in an open world. But at the same time, I start to think about the frustration of like finding a door and then being like, oh fuck, I can't open this door without a chainsaw, and not knowing what, like now we're in an open world where like in a like somewhat linear-ish game, like, okay, cool, I'm gonna find the chainsaw eventually. Like this is a Metroidvania kind of design here. Like I'm gonna find it, I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna get the thing. In an open world where it is, oh fuck, I need the chainsaw here, I need a specific key here, man, I need the hammer over here. Like then you're talking about a thing that might piss me the fuck off.
Oh yeah,
when I'm not finding the items that I want to.
Reminds me of the Elden Ring deniers. You know, give us the classic FromSoft.
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. Give me those classic dungeons instead of just having me wander around all over the place. Because if you make this game open world, Tim won't play it. You know what I mean?
The idea of like. The idea of Resident Evil, like an Resident Evil open world with dungeons that are just straight up Resident Evil traditional stuff. I keep going back and forth on this because on one hand I'm like, I don't know, like I don't know if that's gonna work. But on the other hand, I'm like, there could be something genius there. But
you riding on a bicycle or a motorcycle? How are you getting around?
In Resident Evil, it depends on the character.
Glider.
I mean, yeah, at some point you have to be flying around. If I'm Leon, I'll be on a bicycle. But if what was the name of the dude from Village? Fucking lame ass. He's
bicycle or motorcycle?
He's on a bicycle.
But I can't picture Leon on a bicycle.
No, Leon's on a motorcycle.
Okay,
for
so
sure.
you meant motorcycle.
Motorcycle, yeah.
Okay.
Wait, did I say bicycle?
You said Leon on a bicycle.
Sorry, Leon on a motorcycle.
A little horn.
And then what was the name of the dude from Village that was like that kept losing his hand?
Ethan Winters.
Ethan Winters. He's on a fucking like Segway or some lame shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Segway owners.
Yeah.
That was mean. I'm sorry.
That guy sucks, dude.
I hate Ethan Winters.
Story number 3. Continuing with the Capcom theme. This comes from brand new here, Andy Robinson of VGC.
Oh, never heard of him.
Happy to see you again, Andy Robinson. Capcom reveals Pragmata's unique puzzle shooting gameplay in a new video. Capcom has premiered the first gameplay for the sci-fi game Pragmata. Videos shown during the live stream event on Thursday offer the first public look at the game's puzzle shooting gameplay, which is players hacking robots via a puzzle minigame while simultaneously dodging and shooting them. VGC recently played Pragmata at a media preview event and shared our impressions of the game. Quote, Pragmata's short demo felt unique, polished, and left us wanting more, we wrote. There are question marks about how its ideas will shake out across an experience likely in excess of tens of hours, but with Capcom's unblemished modern track record, you'd be hard-pushed not to have faith that it would follow through on its ideas.
You know this motherfucker's name is Hugh Williams?
The dude?
Yeah. His name is Hugh Williams. I don't want to be playing as a Hugh Williams. You know what I mean?
I don't want to be Gabe Logan. I don't want to be Ethan Winters. I don't want to be what's his face from Watch Dogs, the first guy, Aiden Pierce.
What would you if you were to name this guy? What would you name him?
Fucking Derek. Go with a Derek.
Derek Spaceman.
Maybe
like a Kojima ass name.
Maybe this is a sort of a localization issue.
Oh,
where we go, hey, Japanese devs, Hugh Williams, not a cool name.
They're like, yeah, like they're over there. They're like, I don't know, what are white men named?
Yeah,
Hugh Williams.
Yeah.
Because they're not wrong. I probably know a Hugh Williams out there.
They went with the what's her face, the Resident Evil lady. I mean, that's a slip of the tongue. I meant to say the Harry Potter lady.
Transphobic.
Yeah, they went with her line of like naming characters, or like Mexican character in Harry Potter's like taco Mexican.
Yeah, whatever.
Like
chain bolt or whatever. The fuck God,
Hugh Williams not a cool name. I don't really want to be Hugh Williams, but I do want to play this game. Bless,
dude. Seeing this gameplay has me hyped. Like I didn't get to listen to Greg's preview because that was another one I was out for. But he told me about like the hacking. He was like excited when he came back from the preview. So we just started talking about it. He was like, yeah, and you would hack them and then they would activate and then you like start shooting at them and like seeing it in action. I'm like, this is weird, but I like it. I don't know. And I like the design of like these enemies, these robots that you're fighting.
It kind of gives me the vibe of Helldivers tapping on all the little buttons to call in your thing, and that's kind of like the quick puzzle way to get around that. And it also reminds me of Nier Automata, which you're not doing simultaneously, but when you do that little hacking thing and suddenly you're in a
I love
a little
that shit.
like asteroid looking game. Yeah. Really, really neat. Super fascinating concept.
Have you seen people saying this is a Mega Man game? There are people that are like, they think that there's a Mega Man secret tie-in.
With I could see this being in a similar vein that Pac-Man sort of Metroidvania is happening, but people are looking at the energy tanks, they're looking at the little items that you pick up and
wow, this came from today, June 27th, from Polygon. Pragmata is a secret Mega Man game, claim fans dying for a new Mega Man game. Pragmata, Capcom's long-delayed sci-fi action game, blew us away, yada, yada, yada. But since the first look footage and gameplay reports came out of SGF, a few creative thinkers have wondered if there's more under the surface of the game than Capcom is letting on, mainly that it's a secret Mega Man game. Unfortunately, during a spotlight showcase on Thursday, Capcom did little to confirm or deny the theories. If Pragmata's young robo-protagonist, Diana, is secretly connected to Dr. Light, Dr. Wily, and all the nonsense first introduced in the NES Mega Man from 1987, the studio is staying mum. But we did see plenty of new footage featuring Diana using her blue metal puffy coat that, in fairness, looks a lot like Mega Man's arm to hack robots for her surrogate dad with a gun, the playable astronaut Hugh.
And she's got that sort of like Buster Cannon looking arm. She's got, okay, like I'm not going to say, like, I didn't know it was this serious.
Theories that Pragmata...
Like, I saw pictures, people were posting pictures of the items that you get in the world. If you remember the first trailer or not the first trailer, but the most recent one we saw where they're like, before we knew that Pragmata was back and it was like energy tanks, AI, and it's like showing the different items that these characters use in world. And I saw...
Hold on, can you go back to that screen? I mean, she is given the Mega Man. Here's the thing. I don't believe in this. I think this is an Easter egg. I think this is an Easter egg.
Okay, yeah.
Because that is giving Mega Man.
It's, you know what? It's like Smash Bros. Mega Man, little, what's that little toy you buy for Nintendo?
Like an Amiibo?
Amiibo, yeah. It's kind of like that same pose. I didn't think it was this serious enough for Polygon to have a write-up on it, you know?
I mean, they go on to say theories that Pragmata was Capcom's AAA attempt at a Mega Man revival took off in forums and conspiracy-tinged YouTube videos shortly after SGF. The evidence at the time was tenuous. Diana's design was the big tell, as well as the Mega Man connection to the moon and sentient robot viruses. The early mission of Pragmata finds Diana and Hugh outrunning rogue bots in a lunar base, maybe a Sigma connection. Others wonder if Pragmata's obligatory evil sci-fi conglomerate that ruined everything, the Delphi Corporation, was a tip-off. Delphi was the home of the Oracle and was dedicated to Apollo, the god of, among other things, medicine and light.
Oh, Dr. Light? What the fuck? No.
Okay, what's your reaction when you start to play Pragmata and you take out the first boss fight and you then get that boss's ability?
And then I get to see, and then I get the map, and it's like I get to pick what.
And then the doctor shows up, and he's like, "I am the light."
Man, look, what you just read right now, it legitimizes it in a way, you know.
When Polygon writes an article about it,
here's the thing, it's like.
I didn't believe it until I saw that clip of the screen of the girl with you doing the Mega Man pose.
You can read a bunch of stories about, people talking about, UFOs and all sorts of shit. But then if Forbes writes a write-up on it, you're like, oh, shit, I should listen. I should pay attention to this. The game looks great. I think I am way more pumped about this game than I was thinking about, like, when we just thought the game could have been dead. Because we didn't really even know what the game was at the time. But it was really all of the reactions after that. Because again, Greg Miller, I love you, and I'm sure you're listening somewhere right now, and you're probably making signs for your parade. But when you come back and say that, like, Pragmata, when Greg Miller comes back and says that Pragmata is a game you got to really watch for, I'm like, oh, man, maybe it's not. We don't have the same taste when it comes to action games,
like,
is all I'm saying. Like, I have a certain taste when it comes to third-person shooters, but then everybody started raving about Pragmata. I'm like, oh, shit, Greg was right.
Yeah. Listen, a broken clock is right.
Greg is right.
Twice a day.
Everybody loved Pragmata at this preview event.
Yeah.
And
Capcom don't really miss, dude. Even when they miss, it's like, oh, it was okay. You know what I mean? Like, when they miss, it's the dinosaur
game.
Exoprimal, which was pretty fun, actually.
I don't even think that missed, man.
Like, it came and went.
I think it's just a bad time for it,
Yeah, but, like, that game was fun. If we're being real. Kunitsugami came out, and that was fun.
Kunitsugami was
like,
a solid 8 out of 10.
They're not runaway successes, but it's like, all right, like, they still cooked. Even when they don't cook, they cook.
Yeah. Damn.
They're like that artist that just can't release a bad album no matter how hard they try.
Yeah. Damn. I'm pretty pumped for Pragmata.
Except for the RE-verse, like multiplayer Resident Evils, that's when they're just like, that's when they're completely outside of their bag.
Right. Pretty pumped about getting the rest of these news stories, Bus.
Yeah.
But we'll have to hear about them later after a word from our sponsors.
This episode's brought to you by Cash App. We've all had those moments getting meals out with people that always end in some kind of awkward experience of having to figure out the least complicated way to just get it done. Or even after figuring it out, have you used an app and ended up having to wait days for your money to finally show up? What if we could solve all of that easily? Cash App is a completely different experience, fast, easy, and safe, and a great way to receive and transfer money to family and friends. It's incredibly easy to set up. You just enter your phone or email and some other basic information, no bank account needed, and then there's no waiting around for days. It's your money, you shouldn't have to wait. We love using Cash App because it's fast, it's safe, and it just makes life way less stressful. For a limited time only, new Cash App users can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. For real, there's no catch. Just download Cash App and sign up. Use our exclusive referral code, Kinda Funny, in your profile. Send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. This episode is brought to you by Mood. Let me tell you about the online cannabis company that's revolutionizing how we deal with life's challenges. From sleepless nights to stress-filled days, Mood.com has created an entire line of functional gummies that target specific health concerns with 100% federally legal THC blends. They'll deliver them discreetly right to your doorstep, and you can get 20% off your first order at Mood.com with promo code KindaFunny. I've been having a great time trying out all their different gummies, and I'm loving how each one feels. Their sleepy time gummies will knock you out in about 15 minutes flat. No hangovers, no grogginess, and their Epic Euphoria gummies are perfect for those days when nothing's going right. And best of all, not only does Mood stand behind everything with an industry-leading 100-day satisfaction guarantee, but as I mentioned, listeners get 20% off their first order with code KINDAFUNNY. So head to mood.com, browse their amazing selection of functional gummies, and find the perfect gummy for whatever you are dealing with. And remember to use promo code KINDAFUNNY at checkout to save 20% on your first order.
I have a super chat from Resolute. Thank you for your super chat, Resolute. Says, my nephew's name is William Hugh.
That's fucking incredible.
I'm sorry about that.
That's fucking incredible.
I'm sorry
Listen,
about that.
I'm not here to tell you that Hugh Williams is a bad name, because I don't think it's a bad name. I'm just like, if you're a cool Capcom protagonist who's a spaceman in
Right.
outer space, why is he named Hugh William? Why is his name not Reddick? Or
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Reddick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I said that because you said Derek, and I just rewritten the letters to make it cooler. Reddick Stone.
Oh, shit.
Reddick Stone.
Man.
Come on.
They got to consult you,
Let
Bless.
me name your characters.
They got to consult
That's
you.
definitely a porn star.
We got
I'm gonna look up Reddick Stone real quick.
Vin Archiver.
Whoa. He's a wrestler.
Riddick Stone.
Riddick Stone.
Oh.
I never heard of this guy.
Never heard of him. We have a super chat from Vin Archiver who says, we need Bless to play Overture so that it can be on the Game of the Year list.
Overture. Oh, Liza P. Overture?
Bro.
I'll be honest. I don't think it's going to get on the Game of the Year list even if I play it. Because, like, what? Even if it's not going to be my top 4, I don't think. My top 4 is kind of locked right now, dude. It's going to be tough to penetrate right now. I know I said it like that. But, like, it's going to be tough.
I just wish, this doesn't include you. I just wish more people were gamers here.
Listen, you know I'm a gamer. You know I'm a gamer. And I'm going to get around to it. I think I'm going to get around to it. It's just, you said it. It's a busy time.
You can't say I think I'm going to get around to it.
It's a busy time. I just started playing Tropical Freeze.
Oh, sick.
I did, yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, I'm only 1 level in, but so far, I'm pretty blown away. It's pretty good.
1 level in. How long did you play?
For Tropical Freeze?
Yeah.
I played before bed last night. I was going to play more. Literally, I settled into bed at it was 8 p.m. I had my Switch 2 in my hand. I was like, all right, we're finally going to play Tropical Freeze. And then I get a Discord notification from Asen. He's like, rematch. And I took the covers off. I was like, I'm sorry,
Get the shit out of here.
Fucking threw my Switch 2 like a frisbee across the room. Fuck that shit. I'm playing some rematch.
We have a super chat, $20 super chat, very generous, from Science Dog Official. Says, it's so funny to me how cyclical the gaming space is. Remember during the PS3 and 360 era, how every game had to also have multiplayer mode shoehorned in. Same thing happening now. Compelling narratives are still king. 1,000%. That's where I'm at. Whenever we talk about will that next game be remembered forever? What if they came out with a sequel to this one franchise and it was so forgettable? I'm like, dude, gameplay to me, if you come out with something that's so iterative gameplay wise, but the story hooks are the most mind-blowing stuff ever, then you will remember those story hooks. You will remember those big twists that just had your mind blown. It's most of the games that I look back on fondly are like Outer Wilds.
Yeah.
Or fucking Detroit Become
Out of all the games. I was thinking about Detroit Become Human this last week. I was like, man, I understand why people are so harsh on it, but also I fuck with Detroit Become Human, dude.
I get it.
I just like making choices in a fucking branching narrative. Here's what I think you just sparked something in my brain. And I want to test this theory out.
Okay.
All right, let's all go home. We're all going to test this and come back with our findings.
Okay. Just get homework for everybody.
Homework for everybody. Gameplay keeps me in right now. Story keeps me in forever. All right, think about that. Gameplay makes me a fan of your game in the moment. I'm not going to stop playing it if your gameplay is fucking unlocked. Story is what makes me think about that game forever.
Damn. That's so good.
Think about that.
Because we're at a place right now where I feel like games with fun, compelling gameplay are kind of a dime a dozen. We're getting a lot of really fun, good, mechanically fun games to play.
For sure.
And when I think back to whenever people give me, shit about loving Ghost of Tsushima so much and putting it over The Last of Us is like my favorite of that game that came out that year. It's like, for me, it's also just like feeling like complete shit the whole time I'm playing The Last of Us Part 2. Like, even though I love the video game, it's not fun or anything like that. But I think back to the really heartwarming story moments in Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
The character stabs you in the back and you're just like, what the fuck? I wasn't expecting it. Like, anytime a game can do that to me, those are the ones that burrow their ways, themselves into my brain.
It's the
and
way
this brain is constantly just forgetting everything. I forgot what an amiibo was earlier.
It's the way that like not Death Stranding. I don't know why I got Death Stranding in the brain. NBA Street Volume 2, very different game.
Of
from
course,
Death Stranding.
great story beats.
NBA Street Volume 2 is possibly the most fun I've ever had playing a video game. I don't think it gets more fun than NBA Street Volume 2. I'm being dead ass. Like, it's a 10 out of 10 gameplay.
If you can mathematically and scientifically break it down, a game doesn't get more fun than NBA Street. I don't disagree.
A game doesn't.
I think you're right.
A game doesn't get more fun than NBA Street Volume 2. Nothing. The only thing that can make NBA Street Volume 2 more fun is if they added a roguelike mode. They're not going to do that. A game doesn't get more fun than NBA Street.
I got the women's basketball. It's smaller, but it shoots further or whatever.
However, Last of Us is still higher on my like game of all time list. And it's story, it's narrative. And it's like, I think NBA Street Volume 2 is a funner game. And the gameplay, I think, is more solid and I would say better.
Yeah.
But like Last of Us, it has a good gameplay and then also has a fucking story that keeps me in. I think about it. I think about the opening.
Damn, dude. He's so right now. He's so right now.
Burnout 3. Yeah, Burnout 3, I would say, is on that level too. We can make a list of games. We're getting along.
Returnal.
Yeah, Returnal's on there too. Returnal also has the story, but I feel like the story of Returnal didn't have as much like.
It didn't have as much
stickiness.
impact, but in that moment, I was like, wow, this is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wasn't really vibing with what you were doing earlier. DJ Kento with a $5 super chat says, Andy, be honest, would you rather have to watch all the Resident Evil movies in a row or have to play Resident Evil Requiem for the same amount of time? I'd rather play the game, because it's a lot of movies. It's a lot of time. Averaging 145, you got to assume.
Yeah, the same amount of hour. Like if Resident Evil, the game, Requiem is like a 20-hour game.
Ah, shit. Damn.
20 hours with the Resident Evil.
I mean, I could fall asleep during the movies. I can't fall asleep during the gameplay.
That's fair.
Story number 4. 50 Cent is officially in the Street Fighter movie club, playing Balrog. This comes from Connor Makar at
I'm
Eurogamer.
gonna pause here. All y'all were tagging me in the fucking Sonic is in Magic. Why y'all need to tag me in shit like this?
Yeah.
Dog? Come on. Learn me.
Learn who I am.
Learn who I am.
NBA
This
Street
is the shit that gets me fucking excited.
the most fun a game can be. Rapper and entrepreneur 50 Cent has been cast in the upcoming Street Fighter movie as Balrog. The news comes as a spree of other casting announcements for Legendary Pictures fighting game adaptation are officially announced in the lead up to the 2026 film. This includes Kalina Liang as Chun-Li and Andrew Schultz?
No.
Like the comedian guy?
No. Wait. No.
As Dan Hibiki? What?
No.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. Yeah, it's that Andrew Schultz.
Oh, man.
Yuck.
That's tough.
I mean, Dan is the meme character.
Sure, yeah.
So it makes sense.
That is true.
Oh.
That's not all. Jason Momoa is set to play as Blanca, confirming reports that he was being eyed for the role. The Hollywood Reporter has also confirmed Noah Centineo as Ken, WWE superstar Roman Reigns as Akuma, martial artist actor Andrew Koji as the lead character Ryu, and Orville Peck also joins them as Vega.
Noah Centineo.
Yeah. Oh, Joey loves this dude.
I mean,
He was in all the
those
Netflix
all the
movies.
boys.
Yeah.
I don't see him as a Ken. Like, not even close.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Anytime I see this Noah Centineo, I'm like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get all the love. I don't get all the adoration. And then I saw a really bad movie that was The Rock starring as what Black Adam.
Yeah. Is he in that?
Noah Centineo was one of like the side heroes in that movie. I'm like, this dude rocks.
Really?
This dude rocks.
Could he be
Great line delivery, charming.
Wow.
Like,
okay.
just fun and, easy to like on screen. I don't know if I see him as Ken, but
you know what? Here's the thing. To All the Boys, I feel like came out maybe like 8 years ago or something. They came out a while ago. So maybe I'm judging based off of him as a kid versus who he is as an adult. Because like in some of these pictures, he does look a little bit more built. I'm thinking of like when he was portraying high schoolers.
Yeah. I don't know. I liked his. I think he's affable. He's a likable dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let it slide.
Damn, Andrew Schultz is damn. That's tough.
That's real tough, man. But like, hey, 50 Cent is Balrog. I fuck with it.
Yeah.
You put in
I
some
do.
boxing mittens. What do they call them? Boxing gloves.
Mittens.
Keep warm while you're in the ring.
My hands are too cold.
You got to keep warm while you're in the ring. You, know?
You do.
Keep, like,
you do. You
keep that
gotta
sweat
keep
going.
warm. Story number 5. Sonic the Hedgehog is crossing over with Magic the Gathering. This is the
fucking go.
press release. Sonic and all his friends and some enemies are coming to Magic the Gathering with Secret Lair's Sonic Super Drop. The super speedy Hedgehog has captivated fans for decades. Now, he's racing from the Green Hill Zone to your Magic decks in 3 brand new Secret Lair drops, featuring iconic items, adorable artwork, and new to Magic cards. This Super Drop has it all. New to Magic cards.
Like cards that aren't already in Magic. So a lot of the Secret Lair stuff is like recreations of Magic
Got you.
cards that exist.
Gotcha. The Secret Lair Cross Sonic Friends and Foes drops includes 7 new to Magic cards. These cards are legal. You can't have illegal and legal cards.
No, that's how it works. That's how it works.
It's ridiculous.
Like some cards are too powerful, they don't fit in with the meta, and like they ruin the whole game. So you got to keep them legal or illegal. The Sonic cards are legal.
Do not have these cards on you when you try to cross into America, like the TSA.
If we catch you in the airport with the Sonic cards, you're fucking done. You're going to prison,
dude. These cards are legal in Commander, Legacy, and Vintage. Non-foil versions of this drop will be speeding into WPN Game Source for purchase on August 21. Blessing, what's the card that really has you going?
Ooh, you know what? I haven't actually like really taken a strong look, but as I'm looking right now,
and how do you feel about the art?
I really like the art. I think the art's fantastic. I like when they let the artists get creative. Like, here's the thing. Shadow, I think Shadow is the coolest Sonic character. You know what I mean?
A video game doesn't get funner than NBA Street. A video game character doesn't get cooler than Shadow.
The
Yeah.
Hedgehog. Here's the thing. I wish Greg brought Ben, and I just could have this conversation with Ben. So we can talk about the coolest Sonic character.
Look, here's what I'll say right now.
Mm-hmm.
From my mind's eye, Shadow deserves more.
Oh, I agree.
Because I like the look of the Sonic card. The lighting, the coloring. Something about the Shadow one, I just don't like the art on it. And I'm sorry to the artist if you're watching this right now.
Here's the thing. Kevin, if you scroll down to the Soul Ring card. So the Soul Ring is
Tell me all about
a
it.
card that you should have in every Commander deck. It is.
If I show up to a tournament without this, people are being like, this fucking idiot.
Yeah, you're like, he ain't really
This
playing the
dumbass.
game. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not really playing the game.
Okay.
If you're playing Commander, you got to have a Soul Ring.
that
It's a
looks
way.
fire.
It's basically a way for you to tap for an extra mana, which mana is like the resource that you're playing, that you're using in Magic to play cards. So you want a Soul Ring in every deck. I love
This.
This design is fucking sick. For a
This
Soul
looks
Ring.
sick as hell.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say this is my favorite one. If you're an audio listener, it's basically Sonic, and he has a ring around him, but it's like multicolored. I guess it's a multicolored ring around him. It looks fucking cool.
I look at that card, and if I saw that on somebody's shirt, I go, that's a really sick ass shirt.
Yeah.
It's a good looking design. I think all of them look great. I'm shocked by how unexcited I am by the Shadow card, and I think it's something about just the lighting, maybe the line work on it.
And that's where I come back, where I'm like, Shadow is the coolest Sonic character, but I agree with you that I think in this he deserves better, right?
Yeah.
Like I want y'all to get creative, because this Soul Ring card is creative art. If you go back to the Shadow one, like, it's good quality. I'm not shitting on the artists here. I think they did a great job, but I would have loved to see them go a little bit more outside the box with the Shadow one. That said, I also like the cards where you have characters doing more things, because for a Sonic card or a Shadow card or a Tails card or an Amy Rose or whatever, you want it to best represent the character. Like, hey, This is Sonic front and center doing whatever.
Right.
I love the one that has like Tails and Sonic on the plane. What is this? Tornado Sonic's biplane, right? Like, and it's Sonic perched on Tails' plane. Like, I think that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
So give me more shit like that.
Really cool.
I'm excited for this. I'm really like, jokes aside, genuinely, I'm so happy for the Magic crossover stuff and like seeing it hit different fan bases. Seeing Tim get excited for seeing the Final Fantasy one. They announced the Avatar one coming out later in the year. Avatar: The Last Airbender, not the blue people Avatar. That be wearing T-shirts from TJ Maxx and shit.
That's tough.
But I have friends that are like super Avatar fans, and that's gonna get them to learn. Sonic obviously appeals to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get these cards. My friend Megan texted me this morning. She was like, it was one of those things where she was like, hey, this is gonna be hard to get. So what I need you to do is hit up our friend Lexi. Lexi is like, she's the person. She's like the, what do they call him? The guy at the computer or whatever. Like,
oh, guy in the chair.
The guy in the chair.
Yeah.
Lexi for Magic is our gal in the chair. Like, she's locked in on the market. She does a lot of like reselling and like she is making money off of selling Magic cards. Like she's doing the forbidden shit. I might have to hit up Lexi and be like, yo, help me get these Sonic cards. So I'll report back.
Lucid Dream asked the question that I've always think about. What's the IP crossover that'll get you to buy Magic cards? I mean, it's FromSoft.
I think it'll happen.
It's
before the end of next year, you're going to get an Elden Ring crossover or some FromSoft crossover.
And that's not something that I would play because you and I got to do a little type of like event recently, and we were talking to a lot of people there who played Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And my whole thought with Magic is I just don't need another thing. I don't have time to do the things that I want. You know?
Feel that.
Like the amount of times that I want to just sit down in the beanbag chair and continue watching Andor. But it's like, dude, I'm mining aluminum right now.
The two worst things that happened in my lifestyle in the last year are getting into Magic and getting back into wrestling. Because one, I just feel myself becoming more of a degenerate over time. But then two, it really is time consuming. Where now every Monday and Friday, I'm like going to my favorite TikToker's page because he'll react to all the big moments from the last WWE like show. That way I don't have to watch the fucking 3 hours.
Of course, yeah.
Monday Night Raw. But it's that. And then also it's like, all right, cool. I got this new Magic pack. Well, I got to sleeve everything. I got to organize everything by color. I got to like, it's just it's time consuming, but I love it.
The whole thing.
I love it so much.
Do you all plan on picking up the Sonic cards? And what IP would get you into Sonic cards? Let us know in the super chats. We have the final story here.
Well, this one we can turn into a Wii News.
We turn to a Wii News.
Yeah, and then skip to story number 7, I think.
Okay.
Because story number 7 is like some quick live reacts that I think would be cool to do.
Oh, neat. Okay. Story number 7, 3 trailers we got to watch from the Arc System Works showcase. Let's bring up these trailers if you can, Kevin. The first game is called Dear Me. Dear Me, I Was.
Dear Me, I Was. This
isn't like a typo or somebody like having a stroke during a sentence.
That's the name of the game. It's a Greg Miller joint is the way I'll describe it.
Oh, I saw you post this in the Slack.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Greg posted it himself in the Slack, actually.
Oh, I saw somebody post like a Greg-ass game, but I wasn't sure if it was
No,
him.
it was Greg saying a Greg-ass game.
That's funny
It
as
was
shit.
Greg wanting to let us know that there's a Greg-ass game on the loose.
This looks very cute.
Yeah. So this is Kevin's playing the trailer. This is a game that's launching for Switch 2. Switch 2, I assume exclusive because they only mentioned Switch 2 in the showcase.
Fascinating. You got to assume a lot of touch controls with this little pencil on screen.
Yeah, that's actually a really good call out.
Beautiful hand-drawn art for the audio listeners. It says here, Dear Me, I Was is an interactive adventure that lets you enjoy a story woven with beautiful visuals, fusing the vibrant watercolor style of Taisuke Kanasaki with rotoscoping technology.
Yeah, and it launches this summer for Switch 2. I watched the Arc System Showcase last night. When they announced this, the whole time I was talking to Chad and I was like, oh man, this is a Greg-ass game. And then afterwards they were like, yeah, we made this game with adult women in mind. And I was like, whoa, why would you say that? That was a weird thing to say. Because now it's like, well, like I feel
localization,
like I think it was a localization thing, but then also it's like I understand that marketing wise, yeah, you're gonna aim for specific demographics. That makes sense. But to say it out loud, I'm like, I don't want to send this to Greg and have him feel weird of like, what
Greg,
are you trying to say
known adult woman's says Mad Rocks.
It was such a funny line from the showcase where I was like, oh, you didn't need to say that. Those people will just buy it if they want it.
That looks really gorgeous. That's beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful
the
art style.
second trailer is called Demon Night Fever. It's a new RPG and it'll launch in 2026. Platforms are not announced. From the developer, the concept of this game is to embrace being evil. Nikawa said during today's Arc System Works showcase announcing the game. This game lets you wildly enjoy all sorts of wickedness. There is a game I made in the past which I'm going to overcome with this game. What?
I need to figure out what game that was because he said that, and I was like, "What are you trying to do?" Like, it sounds like he's trying to up his last game. Chad, if you know this developer Nikawa from ArcSys, let us know what he worked on before.
Another quote says, "Now, I will tell you the genre of this game, which is very, very long. Are you ready? Enemies, allies, kill, kill, kill. The more you die, the stronger you become. Raising simulation, speedrunning RPG."
That last part is what got me. Sadly, there's not much gameplay at all in this this teaser trailer, but it kind of like gives off what the style of it is, which like I forget how I described this. I said like Undertale meets like Persona or The World Ends With You.
Okay, yeah, I could definitely see that. I see a lot of it's very visual novelish, very freaking what's the game that Game Grumps is streaming right now, chat, or has been playing recently? The other visual novel, kind of freaky, murderous one with the
I know which one you're talking about. Don't tell me. It's the one that they were talking about.
Danganronpa.
Dang it!
I told you. Sorry.
Oh,
Thank you, chat.
I knew it was fucking Danganronpa.
Sohei Nikawa is a Japanese video game developer and executive known for creating the Disgaea series.
Oh, so he's trying to one up Disgaea.
Yeah,
here.
he joined Nippon Ichi Software in 1996. Yeah, so it looks like he was talking about the Disgaea series.
Cool.
And finally,
what?
the final game from the showcase that Bless wanted to show off is Damon and Baby. I mean, it looks cool.
So we got to talk about this.
Damon and Baby.
It's an action game made by developers at Arc System Works. Of course, Arc Systems, they do publishing and they do developing.
Right.
Here, they're actually developing this game. It's the tale of a... It's a tale of the Demon King who was cursed to never be able to part from a human child. The journey to release the curse begins. More information to come. So this is another one in the genre of big old guy with a little small kid on his back.
Yeah,
which we've been getting a lot lately.
We love that. We love that trope. When
they announced this, it was a very fascinating sort of intro because this closed out the ArcSys showcase. And
this is the one more thing.
This was the one more thing. And they had the lead of the studio sit down and be like, hey, we want to create a new pillar of a types of games that we make here at ArcSys. And we want to like establish like sort of action games that are like mid-range and doing all that stuff. And when he said that, I was like, oh, mid-range action games. And he went on to say like, oh, you might be wondering why we're saying mid-range. Well, when we look at the AAA space of video games and we look at the indie space of video games, there are a lot of challenges that are associated with that. And so we want to create a space for our young developers to essentially like be able to get more at-bats and create something that might not be like as high risk as making like a big AAA thing. So like we want to establish essentially like...
So AA?
AA is how I think I would take it as.
Yeah,
he said mid-range. I look at this and I also think indie in my brain, but I think because ArcSys is not, I don't think they view themselves as an indie studio, so I understand why they would say that.
It also reminds me of Capcom doing, taking a swing with Kunitsugami, like that sort of style game. So it's lower profile, lower budget, smaller team, not going to be, like you mentioned, a massive risk, which is, I feel like a lot of the gaming space is trying to go for the wins with the low risk sort of genres.
And it sounds like it's like one of the ones where they want to build up this pillar as we go, like maybe have these young developers start small and then get bigger and bigger and bigger. So really cool for them for the way they framed it. And like, I believe in this. I think the game looks fucking bizarre. And so I'm curious to see how it hits for people, but I would also play that game. I think that game looks kind of neat.
Damn, that pillar you mentioned, so huge. Those pillars you're talking about.
Big old pillar.
So big. But if I want something smaller, say the tiniest news I need to know about, where would I go?
You'd go to our last story, the Wii News channel, where we cover all the small news items you need to know about.
Story number one. Let's drop back real quick. Story number one is Riot Games opens the door to betting sponsorships in professional League of Legends and Valorant. Oh, fuck. This comes from Connor Makar at Eurogamer. And betting sponsorships are being introduced to Tier 1 Valorant and League of Legends esports, Riot Games has revealed. I know there's got to be a lot of money in that.
Yeah.
And there's already a lot of, shady shit happening anyway, betting wise.
Yeah, that's one of the things they mentioned is that they're essentially like, well, people are already doing it, and so we're gonna try to do it and maybe regulate it a little bit. This is also, I'll make this a required reading. Also, I guess like Connor Makar at Eurogamer has like a big article kind of explaining some of the details of it and like the things that they're saying about it. But they talk about how let's see. They said this is something professional teams have been asking for a number of years. They then go on to explain that they know that sports betting is for everyone and that some fans have strong feelings about it and they respect that. Anytime you have to say, I respect that, you're about to say some bullshit. And then they say, however, the reality is that betting activity already exists around our sport. And they also said that they wanted to establish guardrails around it. And so, yeah, it's a weird one.
It's definitely a weird one because I've already seen... this isn't anything that I've like done a deep dive into or anything, but I see, because of the circles that I run in on Twitter, just other people's tweets based on my algorithm because they know that I'm into Valorant, and I see drama from, oh shit, that this player got released because of throwing a game, or this team has been involved in throwing matches or whatever because of other betting scandals. And yeah, this kind of feels like how badly looked upon betting was back in the day with sports, and now you can't watch an ESPN show without getting a betting commercial from DraftKings or from FanDuel or whatever. It's like getting out there in the open is good, but also still not good. You still worry about everything that kind of goes with betting, and I think introducing this in a way, it's like, well, if we just legalize marijuana, then there will be like less issues with it because we know it's not even really an issue. But making this betting legalized, I don't know, it opens up a lot of other problems, I think.
Yeah.
What a tough thing to deal with.
Yeah.
Shit. I mean, it's gonna make them a lot of money. Hopefully that leads to less layoffs. Probably won't.
No.
Another Wii news. We got Super Mario Strikers is coming to Switch Online. I saw this thing pop up yesterday, and I was like, wow, they really just put out the other Strikers game and just left it to die.
They said fuck it. Like, we tried. Y'all been asking for this for decades. we'll put out a shit one.
Disney Speedstorm Season 14 launching July 3rd.
Still going.
Damn, good for them. Double Dragon Revive launches October 23rd on Xbox One and Series, PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Bubble Bobble Sugar Dungeons launches this winter on PS5, Nintendo Switch, and PC. And Sagat is coming to Street Fighter 6 on August 5th. Who's going to play Sagat in the movie?
Ooh, Tom Hardy.
All I was thinking about the whole time, I'll be real with you, as we kept on going with the stories, I just wanted to keep on doing more castings.
Dude, honestly,
Street Fighter wise.
I need to bring that back up because I had that idea like a while ago of like, yo, there's a whole series of Gamescasts we can do that are just casting all these video game movie adaptations that are happening. That's like we're leaving money on the table.
Yeah, we sure are. You're wrong. That was all for Wii News, by the way. You're wrong. Says breaking news: Sonic and Magic the Gathering Circular announced 7 cards.
Jesus Christ! Put me on my misery, please.
That's big news, Les. I don't know if you heard about it. Let's get to some super chats before we end the show. We got Madrox, $5 super chat. Thank you, Madrox. Says day 2 of the Sajam Slam 5. Here's the hoping on improvement from the players. Would be cool to see either Andy or Blessing join one. I mean, I'm not the guy for that.
Dude, I would love. Well, that makes you the guy.
Huh?
That makes you the guy. Because Sage M Slam is professionals training like people who are not into fighting games.
I'm not the guy.
Dude, I would love to get involved in Sage M Slam.
I'm not the guy.
Y'all tweet at Sage M. Tell him to let us slam.
Bless wants to
kind of funny.
Bless wants to be in the slam.
Bless wants to be in the slam.
Uncle Death with a $5 super chat. That being a little rude towards Blessing and his love for Sonic and Magic. Wow. And I would say, Uncle Death, watch your back.
Uncle Death says, blessing freaking over Magic and Sonic. It's a wonder this man is single. LOL. First of all, I feel like I went on my way not to freak out. I feel like I tried not to freak out. Also, you don't know my dating status.
Yeah, you
all
don't
right?
know. You don't know.
Keep your fucking mouth to yourself.
Yeah, you don't know. Keep your
You don't
mouth
know
to
me.
yourself.
Keep your mouth to yourself. I don't know. I'm not good at clapbacks.
DJ Kento says that Ken is a cocky, rich, pretty boy who thinks he's untouchable until he meets Ryu. Kind of perfect casting, honestly. I don't know if it's perfect casting, but I still like Noah Centineo.
Yeah, I don't know who else I would cast as Ken. Like, nobody immediately comes to mind.
Michael Cera,
Ryan
probably.
Gosling.
Damn, Ryan Gosling's
Ryan
fucking
Gosling is Ken.
good. Oh my god, that's good. Although I don't know if I could see him with long blonde hair.
No.
Something about the long blonde hair is going to be really tough to pull off.
And also, like, does he have, like, I wonder how much genuine fighting we're going to see in this. Because Ryan Gosling, he's not like an action guy. He literally is Ken. That's actually perfect.
He is Ken.
I forgot when I said
Shit,
that.
yeah.
I knew there was some association my brain was making there.
I just went with blonde hair and like cocky. Damn, that's wild. No, I'm talking about like long blonde hair though, Melissa. I don't like the blonde hair is like one thing, but we're gonna have to see him with a mop, unless they don't go with that look. But
I mean, that right there.
no, but like Ken's got neck length hair.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, here's the thing. Somebody else in chat said Zac Efron. I think that's actually a slam dunk.
Zac Efron was fantastic in the studio. You watch the studio? It's a good show.
He was in the studio. Like,
Yeah, he was.
I only watched up to episode.
He was in a couple episodes, or
3,
one episode, I believe.
so I haven't gotten there yet. But he was also awesome in Iron Claw, which like is what I'm
right.
thinking of when I'm thinking of
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the Zac Efron.
Everybody, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with a Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free. Watch us record them live and get a daily exclusive show. Enjoy the Gamescast next, where they will be ranking the Kojima games.
It'll be a fun time.
It'll be a fun time. And then after that, the big stream, the big Death Stranding 2 marathon stream. Join Roger and Mike for a fun time all damn weekend. You're gonna want to be tuned in for all of it to see all the crazy, weird surprises. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.